This is your Summit House community, I guess, whistleblower, sort of. Back again with another video. I just received a letter from Summit House Management Office regarding the request I put in on July 18th to have the jungle that was shown in my previous video addressed. And on the same day, I also submitted the work order for the drain cover that's been loose for 20 months and so far. So we'll see if that was addressed in my next video where I discuss the Parks and Recreation. But let me read this gem of a letter from the community office, and maybe you'll see the hypocrisy in this, or, you know, the underlying ridiculousness of this whole letter. I'd like to share with you some Dear Jason, I'd like to share with you some history as to the plantings along the outside of your building and your specific unit. When the community was built, the developer created a railroad tie retaining wall along the 400 side of the building, beginning at the units that are below the level of the parking lot. It soon disintegrated. In the 1980s, the council at the time hired an architectural firm to investigate a means of a permanent structure to separate the parking lot from the building that would blend with the architecture of the community. The community had been marketed as a country home community. What was created was a tiered retaining system comprised of railroad ties and soil. Well, first of all, if the original railroad ties disintegrated, what was the reasoning to putting railroad ties back in again? I don't know. The soil was planted with ivy that maintains its green growth throughout all seasons while holding back the soil and railroad ties that would intentionally disintegrate in place. It was deemed that the tiered retaining system would not be changed by the residents and that the railroad ties would not be used as a means of pedestrian traffic. The area in front of 476 was replanted by residents who lived there at the time. Well, which time? The 80s? 90s? 2000s? They wanted a more vegetative state with blooms and plumes. If the present-day vegetation were to be removed, it would reveal decomposing railroad ties that would be an eyesore. And with the area opened up, it's almost certain that the pedestrians would attempt to use the area as a staircase, which would be extremely hazardous. Well, anybody with half a brain reading this can see that the reasoning that my vegetation can't be addressed is because it's hiding another problem that is known, which is rotting railroad ties. So where's our maintenance dollars truly going? Where's the exterior maintenance? So I have to live with a jungle in front of my house that they won't address because it's hiding another inherent problem, which is rotted railroad ties. Now, maybe the Summit House office or the council does not realize that with rotted wood could come termites. And seeing as the exterior of our homes are termites, maybe that needs to be addressed instead of hiding it. But that seems to be the way things are done around here. It's pure reactionary, wait until it's it has to be fixed or it's a dire need, instead of being proactive. I'm sure the community members, or the owners in this community, would like to see things being done to maybe help improve the property value, instead of just living with the norm. I'm not sure what's been in place, but based on the reviews I've read online, in Yelp, and in Facebook, there's been some problems with the Summit House Management Office for quite a while now. And has anyone ever investigated? Well, if none of these exterior things are being taken care of, where is our money going? Where is my $250 being spent? I don't know, because as the way I see it, it's not being spent for the exterior of the community, or it is for light posts and blacktop, while there's many, many glaring needs in this neighborhood that needs to be taken care of before blacktop and lampposts. Not sure who has the authority to oppose the council with these things. Maybe it's time we have a person in the office that will sit back and, when these ideas such as blacktop and light post come into the office, will sit back and say, no, there's other glaring needs in this neighborhood and community that need to be addressed first. I don't know. Is anybody else in this community ready for change? Are we sure the Summit House office is actually doing what is in our best interest? Seems to me like the Summit House office is just a place to submit requests and be told no. Quite frankly, I don't even know what the status is of the drain cover work order that I have, seeing as there's no way to see if there's been updates made, what the plan of attack is, and things like that. Maybe it's time this community has their own website where we can track work orders, see the progress being made on them, and expect to have them done in a timely fashion. I think a drain cover is pretty much a important thing to have fastened down, but doesn't seem to be that way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and this great gem of a letter that was sent to me by the Summit House office, which basically states that they know there's problems, and instead of fixing them, we'll just hide them. Makes you think, what else have they been doing all these years? Stay tuned. I have more videos on the way. Today I'm actually going to go analyze the park system for our neighborhood kids. Should be an interesting commentary on that as well. Again, I am not a professional videographer. I don't make these speeches up before I get on these videos. So I apologize if there's long pauses or some of my thoughts may be jumbled. I'm just doing this on the fly. But this is what's happening in our community. Until next time, I'm out.